It is Monday, so we got to start hard left, hard right. The thing we got the most right, the thing we got the most wrong. Now, didn't record last week at all. A lot of stuff going on. But everyone's back this week. A&M's back this week. Group chat's back this week. So we are ready to go. With that being said, like I said, it is a Monday, so a real man brags when he's right and admits when he's wrong. Starting with the wrong. And these are now that we are 75% of the way through with the NFL season. I felt these quarter marks are good to kind of look at objectively the things that we've been the most right and the most wrong in regards to the NFL as a whole. And starting with my hard left, and it's got to be the team that I was at this point the most wrong about. And that would be the Baltimore Ravens. I just didn't think yesterday could happen. And now they might still win the division, and I still don't really trust the Steelers, and this is the problem, is I don't really trust the Steelers or the Jaguars, so it makes the playoffs really weird. But I just didn't think yesterday could happen. Losing the game in that fashion, Lamar continuing to struggle. I have, throughout my power rankings the entirety of the NFL season, even when they were 1-5, I was like, okay, when Lamar gets back, they got a bunch of winnable games. They're going to win the division. There's no way they don't win the AFC North. They're better than the Steelers. They just are. I knew it in my heart, my soul. I said I was going to be the last person to give up on them. Well, I might be giving up soon. I did yesterday. Very few results just outright shock me. I watch a lot of football, and this season's been so weird that it's hard to say like an individual game was like, oh my gosh, I couldn't see that coming. When the reality is, yeah, I could. I could see a lot of these outcomes happening because it's been such an up and down season. The great quarterbacks have not performed like they were supposed to, and a lot of new up and comers are now here, right? Like the Broncos, the Patriots, the Jaguars, like we got a whole bunch of stuff, right? But I have no faith in the Steelers. If you ask me right now, the Steelers and the Jaguars are the 3 and 4 seed. I would put money on both of them to lose their first playoff game. I don't trust either of them. That being said, you have to give credit to where the Steelers are, and we have to acknowledge maybe this is just who the Ravens are this season. And maybe that's because of a Lamar injury. Maybe that's because of, Derrick Henry's not 100% Derrick Henry. But even like the Derrick Henry stuff I don't get. I watched that Thanksgiving game. And I remember I texted Tony afterwards. I was like, hey, why did Derrick Henry, in one of the coldest games of the season at night, only have 10 carries? And he just hits me back and goes, the world may never know. And the Ravens have been a very over-talented roster, like one of the best rosters in football. Kyle Hamilton, Tyler Linderbaum, Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, their offensive line, Mark Andrews, Zay Flowers, Marlon Humphrey, Roquan Smith, Matabuke, who I know is injured right now and has been hurt most of this season. But they've been one of the best rosters in football, and right now they're just playing like, to quote Steve Smith, just a bunch of guys. And can just a bunch of guys get it done? I don't know. I don't think so. And we now have to start looking at, again, this is just, even if I fundamentally believe, and I do, okay, Lamar Jackson's better than Aaron Rodgers, okay? Derrick Henry is better than whoever the Steelers got at running back. Their defense still at high end can it be just as good as the Steelers. It just hasn't been that way. And yes, obviously you can still point to Lamar missed X amount of games, and so that's why this season went to hell. The season was already kind of going to hell when Lamar was there. And while he came back against the Dolphins and he looked great, he has not looked great since then. And the offense looks broken, and he's just not making like Josh Allen and Joe Burrow yesterday were just making superhuman plays. I know Joe Burrow got picked off twice, and they were weird interceptions because they got deflected. And the one he tried to throw over a guy got picked. The other was deflected, picked off. But they were just making throws. Like Josh Allen, the one throw, go see it. It's been trending on Twitter. Was just incredible. Like just throw on the Superman cape and do something amazing. And Lamar, when healthy and playing as he can, absolutely can deliver that. But the reality is he just hasn't been. And so as we look at the Baltimore Ravens currently, I think we just got to admit, like, they're just an average or below average team. Like, is the talent there? Absolutely. But if this is how the 2025 version of the Ravens are going to play, if this is how the 2025 version of Lamar Jackson is going to play, we got to be honest about it. Right? Like, They have not, and I've defended the Ravens, and I'm as big a Lamar fan as you can be without being a fan of the franchise itself. They have not been the team that I and many others just assumed they would be. Now, are they still potentially going to make the playoffs? Yes, because they're only a game behind the Steelers. But losing that game the way they did, it was just like, I did not, that was one of the most shocking results of the season to me. I just did not think they could lose that game. And so I just, 3/4 of the way through the season, I just kind of got to put my hands up and go, I was wrong on the Ravens. And I don't think that even if they get into the playoffs and make like a quote-unquote mini run, win a playoff game, I don't know if that's going to necessarily fix the situation because we talked about this last hour, wasting years. And that I might have a weird opinion on, but the reality is the expectation when you have Lamar Jackson, when you have Josh Allen, when you have Joe Burrow, when you have Patrick Mahomes, the expectation is we should be competing for a Super Bowl. And to not be competing for a Super Bowl this year feels like it's rough right now in Baltimore. And as someone who's been riding with them and supporting them and being like, this is obviously they're going to win the division. They're obviously the best team in the AFC North. 3/4 of the way through the season, I've just been wrong. Simple as that. Moving on to HardRight, and I said I was saving a lot of stuff for the Broncos for tomorrow for Team Tuesday, and I mean that. But as we've done all these quarterly check-ins, I do not forget, and I remember getting killed by some people even on this network. I said the Broncos were going to win 13 games. And I laid out my reasoning. I went game by game, laid out the schedule. And everybody said, you're dumb. You don't know what you're doing. Bo Nix is your quarterback. What can you possibly hope to do? But with 4 games left to go, 3 of the 4 at home against a Chiefs team who is under 500, against a Packers team who I know they just had a great win against the Bears, but I feel good about that. And the Packers historically always don't play well in Denver. 4 games to go, already have 11 wins. A 13-win prediction looking pretty good. And what did I say going into this season? Because I never once brought up Bo Nix and said, oh yeah, Bo's going to take that next step and he's going to be the guy and it's just going to be amazing and we're going to win because of, no. The offensive line, excuse me, which I said was going to be one of the best in the league. I said only behind potentially Detroit and Philadelphia. I think they've outplayed both of those offensive lines. Now, the Colts offensive line has also been great this season. But, like, Garrett Bowles gave up his first sack yesterday of the season. Game 13 gave up his first sack. The offensive line has been amazing. The running game with obviously JK being hurt has been unfortunate. But RJ Harvey showed yesterday that he's going to be able to pick up the slack. Jake obviously provided a great running game, a very consistent running game. The first 3/4 or the first a little over halfway of the season before his injury. The defense, which I said has a chance to be one of the best, if not the best in the NFL. It's either them or Houston, in my opinion. Seattle, I think, is definitively third, when the Seattle's defense is great. Denver's ability to get impact plays, though, getting all the sacks, 55 sacks now on the season. They're off pace, I think, for the record, but they still have a chance for it. So, like, the defense having the impact plays, the offensive line. I said the receivers are better than what people expect. Court's had a good year. Patrick Bryant and Troy Franklin have been better in year 2. And now, so all those things I was right about. And that's why I thought this team could be 13 wins. And the only real pushback was just your quarterback's not good enough to win 13 games. Well, quarterback's on a 10-game win streak. And if Denver finishes, which I think is a realistic opportunity, and I know everyone's going to look at their last 4 games and go, okay, well, you got the Packers, that's a tough game. You got the Chargers, okay, that's a tough game. You got the Chiefs, okay, that's a tough game. The Chiefs just are dead ass might be out of it. And not that Mahomes would give up a game, but just dead ass out of it. The Chargers, I don't think the Chargers are going to sweep the Broncos, so I think they get that one. The Packers don't historically play well in Green Bay. I think Denver gets that one. The Jaguars, I just don't trust at all. Like, I got to sneeze. Sorry about that. The Jaguars I don't trust at all. And the Jaguars game's at home, the Charger game's at home, and the Packer game's at home. The only game on the road is the Chiefs game, which, like I said, the Chiefs just might be out of it. So this team has a real shot to be 14-2 or 14-3, 15-2, be the 1 seed, and force teams to come to Denver. Force teams to have to beat you in your home with that defense, that pass rush, that crowd noise. Like, that's what you want. And so my Broncos take, again, said it before they played a game. 13 wins was absolutely doable. And they've been, quite frankly, they've been better. And they might get to 15 wins. They might not lose another game this season. And, you know, it's going to be great. And I don't believe this, but this is why we have to keep stats need context at all times. Stats need context. Because you're going to, and I don't believe this is one of those teams, which is why I think stats need context. If you look back at this team, let's say, the Broncos run the table. So they go 15-2, right? And then, everyone's got to go to Denver. They win the home games in Denver, and they beat whoever represents the NFC in the Super Bowl. Do you know what statistically we're going to look back on and go, oh, this is an all-time historic team. Second-year quarterback, a defense that is going to be either A, break the sack record or get real close. Look at the numbers. Look at the metrics. This is going to be right up there with the no-fly zone and the Legion of Boom and the 85 Bears. And I love this team. I think they're great. I don't think they're the no-fly zone. I don't think they're the Legion of Boom. And obviously, Bo still, in my opinion, has more to improve on. Even though the last 3 games he has been balling out. If this team, this is why stats need context. Because you'll be able to look back and go, oh my gosh, a 15-2 team with an all-time defense reaching an all-time mark, trying to go for the sack record. They're not that great. They're not a historically great all-time team. Like, just stats need context. It's okay. But yeah. Hard left, hard right. I mean, if you want to be a part of one of the coolest, most unique communities, don't forget to like and subscribe.